I'm back, and today we're going to talk about the top 25 preseason rankings for college football. A lot of people have had their opinions about what teams were ranked too high, what teams were ranked too low, what teams didn't make the rankings at all, and we're going to talk about it. At number 25, we have a team in the SEC. They go by the Tigers. No, I'm not talking LSU. I'm not talking Clemson. I ain't even talking Auburn. We are talking about Missouri coming in at the last spot, cracking just into the top 25 at number 25. At number 24, we have another team who's an animal. But you know one thing, Lamar Jackson played at this place. He won a Heisman with this place in 2017. You know they're in the ACC. They're going to be named the Louisville Cardinals, coming in at number 24. Number 23, this team is an insane basketball school, but it's not basketball season, because they're in the Big 12. This team, you get them going, you get the Cougars roaring. But I'm not talking BYU because we're not talking about them yet. We're talking about the Houston Cougars over there coming in at number 23. At number 22, we all know they have the infamous wave. One of the most beautiful traditions in college football. This team, they love to rock the black and gold. This team, they're in the Big Ten. They're always going to be consistently in the 20 to 25 range when it comes to the top 25 rankings. And that team right there will be the Iowa Hawkeyes. Shout out to Iowa coming in at number 22. At number 21, we have another team out in the Big 12. Throw your double U's up. I'm not talking just throwing up one U. We're not talking about Miami. We're talking about the U over there in the Big 12. They're double U's, because that's going to be the Utah Utes. Give it up for the Utes over there, number 21. Number 20. This team is very deadly. I want to say one thing. Can they get dark mode activated for me? Because when you get that T spread out against Neyland Stadium, that team and that crowd is going to get roaring every single time. Tell the dogs, get the running, because one thing about them, they're going to volunteer themselves and put themselves at number 20 in the top 25 rankings. So Tennessee Volunteers, you are number 20 in the top 25 rankings. Next team coming in at number 19. One thing about this team, I love the car Mustang. I love Mustangs. There's such great horsepower in the car. When you get the car going and the car gets revving, it's one thing and it's powerful and strong. And when you hear that thing going down the street, it's one of the best sounds you can hear. Because I know one thing about this team. This team is in Texas, and everything they say is bigger in Texas. But one thing about this team is that they have got themselves number 19 in the country, and that is the SMU Mustangs. Congratulations to them. This next team, they're all over there in the valley. But which valley do you think I'm talking about? I'm not talking about Death Valley with LSU. I'm not talking about Death Valley with Clemson. We have another team where you don't die. They're always happy. This team has a stripe out. This team has a helmet stripe game. They might even rock the pink S zone in the student section. But then the one thing about this team, USC, this team will be having a whiteout against them, supposedly. And that team, at 18 is with Penn State. Penn State Nittany Lions is going to be ranked number 18 in the country. Now, number 17. This team, they love to be in the snow. This breed of dog, they love being in the snow and everything like that. This breed of dog, it's once you see them, you look at them and you're just like, oh man, I know one thing about this dog. You put this dog in heat, they don't like it. But when they're in the cold, it is room temperature, baby. This place, it is a sneaky place to play in, and this place is a pretty good place to, and it's pretty loud too. I'll even give them that. Because over there with Desmond Williams, you got the team that is purple and gold. And that is the Washington Huskies coming in at number 17. Number 16, we got the team in the maize and blue because they always have jealousy turning saints into the sea, because number 16 will belong to Michigan Wolverines. Shout out to the Michigan Wolverines. Number 15, but they're tied 14th with USC. This team is over here with the Mormons. This team, they rock the blue and white. They might rock a blue out. They might rock a white out. One thing about their mascot, he is the best mascot in the Big 12. One of the best mascots in the country, in my opinion. This mascot loves to dance. This mascot is very, very athletic, loves to do flips, loves to do everything. But the one thing about this team is that when you get them roaring, you get the Cougars going, they are very, very hard to stop, and this place can get very, very loud when you get them going. And that is going to be the BYU Cougars over there in the Big 12. This next team is in the Big 10. We all know we're talking USC, but I'm not talking South Carolina. We're talking, you better wrap them up because you got to put a Trojan on because you know USC Trojans coming in at number 14, baby. Next team coming in number 13. You know, they always say you got to get them with the Tide. And they always say Saban was the GOAT, and he is the GOAT of coaching in college football. Now, the one thing I also say about this team, they also have a new head coach. They also have Ryan Williams over there. They don't have Jalen Milroe. They don't have a Ty Simpson. So who's going to be their starting QB? I wonder who. But this team, when you get them going, the fans love to yell out, Roll Tide. Yes, it is. Number 13 will be Alabama coming in. Number 12, we have another team over there. Patrick Mahomes played at this stadium, throwing over 700 plus yards in a game. I think that was the most in the country, I think. This team, they played in the Big 12 championship, beating BYU last season. But then when they played Oregon, they got completely dismantled. Like, are you even a college football team? This team brought in a quarterback who couldn't even play for him because guess why? Gambling problems. But guess what? That's not going to stop them from riding their horses, putting the mask on, throwing the tortillas in the air because guess what? And wave your hands like you don't care, Texas Tech, because you're number 12 in the nation. Now we're going to move up to number 11. This team, they have a big argument with another team that's in the ACC. But this team is in the SEC. Well, I know I talked about a team that's in a happy valley, but we need to talk about a team that's in a death valley. We need to talk about a team that's deep in the South. We need to talk about a team that they love their night games. They love their LED lights. This stadium is one of the loudest stadiums in college football. This stadium seats over 100,000 people. 100,000 people that be roaring, screaming, that's going to set it off in this, you know what, set it off. This team that's going to be roaring and screaming because when you hear the Tigers coming, LSU ain't going to stop for nothing. And we talking about LSU Tigers coming in at number 11 ranked in the country. Now we're going to get into the top 10. This team over here, you might as well get your horses ready. You might as well get your red and white stripe outs ready. You might as well get the O with the U ready because when you hear you got Oklahoma Sooners coming around the corner because that's Oklahoma Sooners coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9. This team can't wait to see LSU. This team was almost there to the national championship. But one thing about this team, they defeated Georgia. One thing about this team, they got a quarterback in Trinidad Chambliss who's a dog. They got a Keywan Lacey who is a dog. Credit, most of their team transferred out and went to the Death Valley in Louisiana. But this team is still up there in the top 10. Number 9 is going to be Ole Miss Rebels, baby. Coming in at number 8, this team. When they brought back Kanye West Power, that stadium went crazy. This team, they're the second most feared team when it comes to playing Mo Bamba because the first place to play Mo Bamba that is the most feared is obviously over there in Happy Valley with Penn State. But this team is the second most feared team in college football when that song Mo Bamba starts to blast through those speakers. And this team right here, you better get the dogs ready. How they say, you better gig them. How they said, this team is Texas A&M. Coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have a team that is my rival. They came down to Tallahassee, Florida, and they beat us. And it sucked that they beat us. This team, they have a player that likes to say gobbles. This team, they had a national championship run, but it came short off of a pick caught by the Indiana Hoosiers. But this team was the runner-up to Indiana in the national championship, and that team is going to be Miami Hurricanes, coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have the team that stopped Miami. from getting to the national championship ring that they wanted. We have a team that caught the game-winning interception to secure the national championship. A coach who's only lost one game within the past 2 years. We have a coach who won the Big Ten last year. We have a coach who went undefeated last year. We had a coach who had the Heisman on his team last year. But one thing about this coach, he wants to go back to back. And everybody knows they're going to be talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. Yes, sir. Shout out to Indiana coming in at number 6. Now we get into the top 5. Coming in at number 5, we have a team that if you throw this up, and you go like this over there in Texas, and you say, hook 'em, them fans will look at you and say, hook 'em too. This stadium, they get loud, they get roaring. This stadium, they got a very famous player who his uncles or his grandfather was in the NFL by the last name of a Manning. And I'm talking about Texas coming in at number 5. Number 4, we have a team who, if they were all green, man, this stadium could get roaring. Man, this stadium had a player last year who was a running back who was very, very special. He showed a lot of love too. But now they got a quarterback who can he drive this team down to the promised land. Because, I mean, you got to put your trust in the cars, baby, because cars going to lead you where cars going to take you. But one thing about this team, they didn't make the playoffs last year. They threw a hissy fit, quit when they shouldn't have quit. But we're talking about the number 4 team in the country, Notre Dame, coming in at number 3. We have a team. And we know they're mean. Because one thing I know about this, and I learned about this team, is if you don't know about them, you need to know what's that coming down the track. Because you know there's a team over there in the red and black. And you know, they always say there's nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Number 3, you got the Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Georgia Bulldogs coming in at number 3. Number 2. I told you, just throw your O's up, baby. And I'm not talking throw your O's up like we're Larry from Overtime. No. We're not Overtime. I'm saying throw your O's up because, you know, they love to go by Ducks. They got a great, very great mascot. One of my favorite mascots in college football. This team is very, very, very special. They got a very returning, experienced quarterback who went into the wideout of Penn State and played his butt off in double overtime. They have a very good receiving core in Corey Moore. Evan Stewart coming back off his ACL tear. And they have McLennan. They also have a very, very, very good cornerback in Brandon Finney Jr., who's coming into the play. But then not only that, they have one of the best D linemen in college football with Mateo Uyunglele, Bear Alexander, and some other players on that D line that's very, very scary. But then not only that, they brought in a transfer QB who's going to be learning from Dante Moore, who came in from another Big Ten team from Nebraska. And that is going to be Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks at number 2. But this team at number 1, you know, their mascot loves to go like this. Their team has a number 4 who is the best wide receiver in college football. This team has a quarterback, number 10, who, man, I don't know. He was a Heisman finalist last year. Most accurate QB in college football last year. This team has the defense. This team has the offense. They've made the national championship before. But guess what? They also won a national championship against a team also in the top 25, who's also in the top 5, Notre Dame. This team has a coach who they thought about firing when they lost to Michigan. But guess what? He won the national championship in Ryan Day. And that team is Ohio State, coming in at number 1. That is your top 25 rankings. I'll have another video talking about what I thought about this list. But that is going to be the list of the top 25. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll have more videos out there for you.